Be back with you. We always, the person that's translating for me, has the hardest job today. So I'm very thankful that Laura has taken over this job. I bring you greetings from Texas. Last night's snowstorm. You saw the snow last night? Just a little bit of snow this morning? That's what we got in Texas all of the winter. Just enough to kind of make the ground white. And then I get on the plane coming here from Amsterdam. And the pilot is saying it's this amount of degrees in Riga. And just a little bit of snow. So this was on Tuesday. And when I got to Riga airport, it looked like a true snowstorm. We couldn't get off the plane because the walkway was spinning in the snow, and they couldn't get it next to the plane. But I can tell you that from Texas, spring is coming. Maybe it's about a month away for you. But it's coming, I can tell you. My wife Laura sends her greetings to you. We are waiting for grandbaby number 8 and number 9. I leave on April 16. And the first baby is to be born on April 17. So I may or may not make it. But Laura is helping them with everything, getting ready for the babies. And everything looks good, and everybody seems to be healthy, so we're praising God for that. First Baptist Church of Athens also sends their greetings.
Sorry.
First Baptist Church.
Pirmā baptistu baznīca sūta sveicienus.
And your friends there are always asking about you.
Draugi no turienes vienmēr jautā, kā klājas mūsu draudzē.
Wanting to know what's going on with you.
Un grib uzzināt, kas notiek.
Friendship and cooperation between those two churches.
Šajūtas tādu labu draudzību un sadarbību starpā.
So today we're going to, the title of the talk is, Does God Redeem All That He Allows? But I know redeem doesn't translate very well.
Tātad šodienas temats ir, vai Dievs pieļauj visu to, kas notiek.
So maybe a better title might be, Why Does God Allow Evil?
Tātad kādēļ Dievs ļauj notikt ļaunumam?
If He is such a good God,
ja Dievs ir tik labs Dievs,
why are all these bad things happening around us?
Kādēļ visas šīs sliktās lietas un ciešanas notiek?
Last week we had a plane that crashed outside of the capital city of Ethiopia.
Pagājušajā nedēļā bija lidmašīna, kur cieta katastrofu Etiopijā.
170 something people killed.
170 cilvēki gāja bojā.
We have babies that are sometimes born that have cancer.
Ir maz zīdaiņi, kuri piedzimst un jau ir slimi ar vēzi.
We have tragedies that happen every day in the world.
Katru dienu notiek pasaulē traģēdijas.
And so, if you're a Christian, you have to think, how can this God be so loving?
Ja mēs esam kristieši, mums jādomā, kā šis Dievs var būt tik mīlošs.
Yet, how can this loving God allow these things to happen?
Un kā šis mīlošais Dievs pieļauj visām šīm lietām notikt.
So I'm going to make about 4 points.
Man būs 4 punkti.
Very quickly. I'm going to make 4 points very quickly. You got that? Yeah. And then I'm going to move to number 5.
Tātad būs 4 tādi ātri punkti, un tad būs 5.
But I really chose this topic.
Šo tematu es esmu izvēlējies.
Because of 2 things that happened recently.
Pamatojoties uz 2 lietām, kas nesen notikušas ar mani.
The first was a school bus accident in Athens, Texas.
Pirmais bija skolas autobusa avārija, kas notika Atenās.
It was on a Friday afternoon.
Tas bija piekdienas pēcpusdiena.
There was a bus driver.
Bija autobusa vadītājs.
And 2 students.
Un 2 skolnieki.
Big yellow bus, like some of you have seen.
Tas lielais zeltainais skolas bus, ko mēs jau zinām.
And he was taking them to their home.
Un viņš veda šos bērnus mājā.
No rain, no snow, nothing, no weather conditions.
Nebija nekādu laika apstākļu, kas varētu traucēt braukšanu, ne lietus, ne sniegs.
And there is a law that every time a school bus comes to a railroad track, the bus has to stop and look both directions before it goes ahead. Ir
tāds likums, ka tik līdz kā autobus piebrauc pie sliedēm, ir autobusam jāapstājās un jāapskatās labi un pa kreisi.
This school bus pulled up to the railroad track. The driver looked both ways.
Autobus apstājās pie šīm sliedēm un šofers paskatījās uz abām pusēm.
And he started pulling across.
Un turpināja braukt.
And there was a train and hit the bus.
Un tas vilciens tomēr ietriecās autobusā.
The train had been blowing its horn.
Vilciens signalizēja ar šo skaļo sirēnu.
We don't know why that bus driver did not see that train.
Nav zināms, kādēļ šis šofers neieraudzīja vilcienu.
Where the train hit, it knocked the 15-year-old boy. It threw him completely out of the train and killed him.
From the bus.
From the bus.
Tas trieciens izsita vienu no 15-gadīgiem bērniem laukā no autobusa fiziski no šī trieciena.
The driver was hurt.
Arī vadītājs tika ievainots.
The other girl that was in the back of the bus, she was severely injured and has had several surgeries already, but she probably will live.
Jā, meitene, kas bija autobusa aizmugurē, izdzīvos, bet viņai ir vairākas smagas traumas gūtas.
Why does that happen?
Kādēļ tas notiek?
The boy was doing nothing wrong.
Šis zēns nebija izdarījis neko nepareizi.
There was no punishment involved.
Tas nebija sots par kaut ko.
It just happened.
Tas vienkārši notika.
The second thing that has caused this to be on my mind.
Tā otrā lieta, kas man prātā.
I have a friend named Sherry.
Man ir draudzene, kuras vārds ir Sherija.
I went to school with her all 12 years of school. 12.
Viņš mācījās skolā 12 gadus kopā ar šo Sheriju.
We were just friends. We were never romantically involved.
Viņi bija tikai draugi, nekas romantisks nebija viņu starpā.
And so she and her husband have been married for 40-something years.
Viņa bija precējusies ar savu vīru par vairāk kā 40 gadus laulībā.
They own a farm.
Viņi dzīvoja laukos.
He's actually a lawyer, but they have a farm where they raise cows and horses and things.
Viņas vīrs ir jurists, bet patiesībā viņi dzīvo fermā laukos, kur viņi audzē govis un zirgus.
So they were building a fence for cows, to keep cows in.
Viņi būvēja sienu, lai tā kā sētu apkārt aploku.
And so in the corner fence you have 2 heavy posts And then you have a post that goes across the middle.
Ir tāda kā aizsarga, tā kā like a gate.
It's really a strengthening. It makes it stronger.
Tā kā stiprinājums, tā sēta sānos ir tā kā tādi aizsargi, tā kā tādi baļķi, tā kā tāds aizlietņi.
And so they were using a tractor to move one of those posts into position.
Viņi izmantoja traktoru, lai šos smagos stutis tā kā ieliktu pareizā vietā.
And she was driving the tractor.
Un sieva vadīja traktoru.
But he didn't like the way she was driving.
Bet vīrs nebija apmierināts ar to, kā sieva to darīja.
So they changed places.
Tad viņi samainījās.
And somehow the post ended up hitting her in the chest.
Kaut kā gadījās tā, ka šis smagais bloks uzkrita viņai uz
krūtīm. And it hit her pretty hard.
Ļoti smagi uzkrita uz krūtīm.
So he immediately was checking on her, "Are you okay?" And she was saying, "Yes, I'm fine."
Un vīrs uztraucās un jautāja, vai tev viss kārtībā, un viņa atbildēja, ka jā, viņai viss ir labi.
And he said, "No, we need to take you on to the hospital."
Un vīrs uzstāja, ka vajag braukt uz slimnīcu.
And she said, "No, I'm fine. There's no visible injuries."
Bet sieva pretojās un teica, ka nav iemesla braukt uz slimnīcu.
And he insisted that they go to the hospital.
Bet tomēr vīrs uzstāja, ka ir jābrauc uz slimnīcu.
So they got in the car, and it's about 15 miles to Athens from where they live.
Tad viņi devās tomēr uz slimnīcu 15 jūdzes.
After they had been driving for about 10 minutes,
pēc 10 minūšu braukšanas,
they weren't that far from the hospital.
Viņi bija ļoti tuvu slimnīcai.
She told him, you need to go a little faster because I'm not feeling very good.
Tad sieva sāka steidzināt un teica, tev jābrauc ātrāk, jo es nejūtos labi.
So by the time they got to the hospital,
tajā, kamēr viņi nonāca līdz slimnīcai,
she was dead.
Viņa jau bija mirusi.
You know, she didn't wake up that morning thinking that she was going to die.
Tajā rītā, kad viņa pamodās, viņai nebija ne jausmas, ka viņa
She really didn't do anything wrong.
Viņa nebija izdarījusi neko sliktu savā dzīvē, neko nepareizi.
She's a good Christian woman.
Viņa ir laba kristiete.
And her death, he will always blame himself for her death.
Viņas vīrs noteikti vienmēr vainos sevi sievas nāvē.
3 days before I came back to Latvia, I had lunch with him.
3 dienas pirms es ierados Latvijā, es ēdu kopā pusdienas ar viņiem.
And he's also a good Christian man.
Arī viņš ir labs kristietis.
But he still is at that point of not being able to understand why God chose to take her at that moment.
Bet viņš joprojām jautā sev šos jautājumus, kādēļ Dievs izvēlējās paņemt viņa sievu tieši tajā brīdī.
And so I'm sure you've had a lot of these things in your own life.
Es esmu droši, ka arī jums ir daudz no šīm lietām notikuši jūsu dzīvēs.
So we're going to quickly go through some things that maybe will help you understand this a little bit better.
Mēs iesim cauri vēl pāris lietām, kuras palīdzēs jums saprast labāk.
The first is that God does not cause innocent suffering.
Pirmais, Dievs
He doesn't make the innocent to suffer.
Viņš nevēlās, lai nevainīgi cilvēki ciestu. Viņš nevēlās.
The Bible says God is holy.
Bībele apgalvo, ka Dievs ir svēts.
God is sinless.
Dievs ir nevainīgs.
He is perfectly just or perfectly equal.
Viņš ir taisnīgs.
And he does not tempt anyone to evil. He doesn't make them fall into evil.
Un Dievs nemudina un nekārdina nevienu darīt ļaunus darbus.
Now, I'm not giving you each one of these scriptures, but if you want to see them later, I have them listed.
Markam ir Bībeles panti pie katras šī piemēra, tā kā kādam ir vēlēšanās, viņš var iedot, viņš tagad nelasīs cauri visu šās raksturvietas.
So, God is not causing this suffering.
Dievs nav tas, kurš rada šīs ciešanas.
That's important for you to remember.
Ir svarīgi saprast to, ka viņš nav tas, kas rada.
If he's not causing you to suffer with this, then he's not responsible for it. Does that make sense to you?
Tā kā viņš nav tas, kas rada ciešanas, viņš arī nav atbildīgs par to, ka šīs ciešanas notiek.
We all know about free will.
Mēs visi zinām par to, ka ir brīvā griba.
That you and I have the ability to choose the way that we want to choose.
Mums vienmēr ir iespēja izvēlēties to, ko mēs vēlamies.
And it's this misused free will that causes much of the innocent suffering in the world today.
Ir tā pārprastā brīvā griba, kas rada ļoti daudz ciešanas mūsdienu pasaulē.
When Judas betrayed Jesus, he was using his free will.
Kad Jūdas nodeva Jēzu, viņš tajā brīdī izmantoja šo savu brīvo gribu.
The second thing with that is that we live in a fallen world.
Mēs šobrīd dzīvojam pasaulē, kas ir kritusi grēka dēļ.
So when Adam and Eve made their choice of free will,
kad Ādams un Ieva paradīzē izdarīja savu izvēli, savu brīvo gribu.
That's where disease came into the world.
Tas bija brīdis, kad ienāca pasaulē slimības.
And also natural disasters came into this world.
Un arī visas katastrofas un kataklizmas.
Before Adam and Eve, we didn't have hurricanes and famines and flooding and all of those things. It was a perfect world.
Pirms Ādams un Ieva izdarīja šo izvēli, mums nebija nekādas problēmas ar dabas apstākļiem un katastrofām, ne plūdi, ne viesuļvētras, nekas tāds.
But we all know that God must allow us to use His free will, or we won't truly love Him.
Mēs zinām, ka Dievam ir jāļauj mums izvēlēties, sajust šī brīvā griba.
We're not going to be truly free.
Ja viņš to neļaus, mēs nejutīsimies pilnībā brīvi.
Over in Deuteronomy, it talks about that He sets before His people life and death, blessing and curse. Life and death, blessing and curse.
5. Mūsu grāmatā viņš runā par,
He says that He puts before all of us life and death, or blessing and curse. And we have to make that choice.
Jā, tā kā Dievs mums piedāvā, ka mēs varam vienmēr izvēlēties, vai mēs vēlamies lāstu vai svētību, vai mēs vēlamies prieku vai bēdas.
So, He's not tempting us. He's not dangling something out here that's going to make us sin.
Viņš tā kā nekādina mums un neliek neko mums izvēlēties, lai mēs speciāli grēkotu.
We live in this fallen world today.
Mēs vienkārši šobrīd dzīvojam šajā pasaulē, kas ir kritusi grēkā.
And as long as there's this fallen world, there's going to be disease.
Un līdz kamēr šī pasaule eksistēs, te vienmēr būs ciešanas un slimības.
And there's going to be disaster.
Un būs
we don't
problēmas un katastrofas.
Most of us, when we see somebody, or we have to go to a funeral,
bieži vien, kad mēs redzam ciešanas vai ejam uz bērēm,
we say, he was taken a long time before he should have been taken.
Mēs vienmēr mēdzam teikt, redz, kā viņš ir pārāk paņemts daudz agrāk nekā vajadzēja.
And we just had this discussion not long ago. How long should we live?
Kurš zina, cik ilgi mums vajadzētu dzīvot?
Now, if you ask me, when I'm 10 years old, how long should a person live?
If I'm 10 years old.
Yeah, if you ask me when I was 10, how long should a person live?
Ja mēs jautātu Markam, kad viņš bija 10 gadus vecs, cik ilgi būtu cilvēkam jādzīvo?
Oh, I might say, if you live to be 60, you're going to live a long time.
Tādā vecumā viņš teiktu, kad 60 gadu vecums, tas jau ir ilgs mūžs.
If we ask Via today,
ja mēs jautātu Vijai, kā viņai šķiet, cik ilgi cilvēkam jādzīvo?
How long should a person live? It would be a lot different answer.
Atbilde būtu savādāka.
Have you ever thought how God is protecting us?
Cik mēs bieži domājam par to, kā Dievs mūs pasargā?
Because He doesn't tell us when we're going to die.
Dievs mums neatklāja to, kad mēs
What if He told everybody you're going to die when you're 65 years old?
Kā būtu, ja Dievs mums tiešām pateikt, ka mēs mirsim vai kāds mirs 65 gadu vecumā?
How would that affect your life?
Kā tas ietekmētu mūsu dzīvi?
You know, would you say, I'm going to do anything I want to till I'm 64, and then I'm going to start serving God?
Vai mēs dzīvotu tā, ka mēs līdz 64 gadu vecumam nedarītu neko, un tad to beidzamo gadu mēs sāktu kalpot Dievam un dzīvot labu dzīvi?
Or would you, about the time you get 60, you start getting worried?
Vai ar to laiku, kad jau mums ir 60, tad sāk ļoti uztraukties?
And scared?
Un baidīties?
You know, how do you feel on Sunday night when you know you have to go to work on Monday morning? You know?
Kāda ir sajūta svētdienas vakarā, zinot, ka pirmdienas rītā ir jāiet uz darbu?
So God, in His wisdom, none of us know how long we're going to live.
Dievs savā gudrībā to ir paredzējis, ka neviens no mums nezina, cik ilgi mums ir jādzīvo.
We think it's something that's bad, but he's doing us a favor. He's doing something good for us.
Mums brīžiem liekas, ka tas nav īsti labi, ka mēs to nezinām, bet viņš mums dara pakalpojumu.
All right, so the fourth point is that God sometimes does step in and prevent some of these things from happening.
Tad ceturtais punkts ir tāds, ka ir reizes, kad Dievs iejaucās un attur šīs sliktās lietas, lai tās nenotiktu.
In the Bible, He didn't keep King Herod from killing James.
Tātad Bībelē minēts, ka viņš neturēja Herodu lai viņš nogalinātu James, tas ir Jēkabs.
Yeah.
Jēkabs, jā.
But he did send angels to stop Peter from being executed and killed.
Bet viņš sūtīja eņģeļus, lai viņi palīdzētu Pēterim.
We know that Jesus healed many people when he was here.
Mēs zinām to, ka Jēzus dziedināja ļoti daudz cilvēkus savā laikā.
He even calmed the sea when in the middle of a storm.
Viņš pat apstādināja vētru jūras vidū.
So sometimes in the middle of all of this pain and suffering, God does step in.
Ir ļoti bieži, kad šajās ciešanās un bēdās Dievs iejaucās tieši vidū un palīdz šajās situācijās.
So the question is,
Tad ir jautājums par to.
Does God allow all of these bad things to happen?
Vai Dievs atļauj šim visam notikt, šim ciešanām?
And the answer is yes.
Un atbilde ir jā.
We want to think of Him as a loving God.
Mēs gribam domāt par Dievu kā par mīlošu Dievu.
Yet, just by pointing His finger, He could have kept that airplane from crashing.
Dievs varētu izglābt arī šo lidmašīnu no katastrofas tikai ar savu rokas mājienu.
He could have saved my friend Sherry.
Viņš varēja izglābt arī Marka draudzeni Sherry, ja viņš to gribētu.
But he chose not to.
Bet viņš neizvēlējās to darīt.
But never doubt that he could have if he had wanted to at that point.
Bet mums nav jāšaubās par to, ka Dievs to būtu varējis izdarīt, ja viņš gribētu.
Because we know God is sovereign and can do anything.
Tādēļ, ka mēs zinām, ka Dievs ir suverēns un viņš var izdarīt jebko.
That He has to, those things that happen, He has to have allowed it.
Tātad viss, kas notiek, viņš to visu ir pieļāvis, savādāk tas nenotiktu.
But, and this is a big but.
Ir liels bet.
Because He is holy, He can never make a mistake.
Tādēļ, ka Dievs ir svēts, viņš nekad nekļūdās.
Put that into your mind.
Atcerieties to labi.
He could never and can never make a mistake.
Dievs nekad nekļūdās.
If these bad things that He's allowed to happen, if He doesn't make them into good, that would be a mistake.
Tātad, ja šīs visas sliktās lietas, kurām viņš ļauj notikt, ja viņš nevērstu tās pa labām, tad tā būtu kļūda.
So over here we know the good things about God, that He's holy, that He's all powerful, that he knows everything about the past, he knows everything about the future.
Tad mēs zinām visas šīs labās lietas par Dievu, ka viņš ir svēts, ka viņš ir uzticams, ka viņš zina visu par pagātni un redz arī nākotni.
And we know he can't make mistakes. He cannot make mistakes.
Un mēs zinām, ka viņš nedara kļūdas.
So that tells us then he will make this into good in the future.
Tā mēs zinām, mums ir jāpaļaujās, ka viņš visas šīs ciešanas nākotnē padarīs par labām lietām, par ieguvumu.
Romans 8:28.
Romiešu 8. nodaļa, 28. pants. Tātad. Un mēs zinām, ka tiem, kas mīl Dievu, visas lietas nāk par labu, tāpēc, ka tie pēc viņa mūžīgā nodoma ir aicināti.
He's telling us there that eventually everything will be made for good.
Viņš mums saka, ka kaut kādā brīdī viss tiks vērsts par labu.
How is he going to take my friend Sherry's death and make it into good? I don't know.
Mēs nezinām, kā viņš varētu izmantot šo Sherry's nāvi un to pagriezt, lai tas būtu kaut kas labs.
That poor child in Africa that's starving to death, how is he going to make that for good? I don't know.
Kā Dievs varēs izmantot kaut kam labam šos bērnus, kuri cieši Āfrikā un mirst no bada?
But I know that's going to happen.
Mēs nezinām kā, bet mēs zinām, ka tas notiks.
We may see that on this side of heaven, or it may be in heaven that we understand what is happening.
Ja mēs neredzēsim to esot uz zemes, ir iespēja, ka mēs redzēsim to būdam debesīs.
Look at 1 Corinthians 13:12.
1. Korintiešu,
1 Corinthians 13:12.
13. nodaļa, 12. pants. Tātad 13, 12. Mēs tagad visu redzam mīklaini, kā spogulī, bet tad vaigu vaigā. Tagad es atzīstu tikai pa daļai, bet tad atzīšu pilnīgi, kā es pats esmu atzīts.
So, right now we're looking in a mirror, is what it's saying, in a glass. But when we get to heaven in the future, we will see face to face. Today, I only know a very, very, very small part. Whereas in the future, everything's going to be fully known. Everything's going to, the complete knowledge is going to be there. You and I are working with such a small amount. Go ahead.
Tad šobrīd mēs skatāmies tā kā spogulī, mēs redzam tikai daļēji, bet tad, kad mēs būsim debesīs, mēs redzēsim visu šo lielo bildi. Mēs redzam tikai mazu daļu no tā, ko Dievs redz.
So all of this is working according to his plan.
Visas šīs lietas darbojas saskaņā ar Dieva lielo plānu.
Now be careful.
Esiet uzmanīgi.
When somebody has had a death in their family,
kad kādā ģimenē ir ienāk nāve,
a tragedy close to them,
vai traģēdija,
they don't need us as Christians to walk up to them and say, it's all part of a plan.
Šai ģimenē, kur sēro, nav vajadzīgi mūsu kristiešu izteicieni, ka viss kārtībā, tas ir Dieva plāns.
They don't need to hear that at that point.
Tajā brīdī šiem cilvēkiem, viņi nevar to dzirdēt, viņi nav gatavi to dzirdēt.
But it's what it is. It is a plan that God has, that how he's going to change this world.
Tas ir Dieva plāns, kā viņš darbojās un kā viņš vēlas šo pasauli mainīt.
So another place in the Bible says that my ways are higher than your ways. My ways are higher than your ways.
Tad Dievs saka, ka mani ceļi ir augstāki par jūsu ceļiem.
Because of that,
un šī iemesla dēļ,
that's hard for us to really understand.
Mums ir grūti tā patiesi saprast.
We think we're smart.
Mums šķiet, ka mēs esam gudri.
We think we understand.
Mums šķiet, ka mēs kaut ko saprotam.
We think that that everything ought to be explained to us.
Mums šķiet, ka viss mums ir izskaidrots.
We think that everything has to have a meaning.
Mums šķiet, ka visam, kas notiek, ir jābūt kaut kādai nozīmei.
And God's saying, you're not going to know everything.
Bet Dievs tomēr saka, ka nē, jūs nezināsiet visu.
So here's another big question. Why does sometimes God prevents this suffering and other times he allows that suffering?
Te ir tas lielais jautājums, kādreiz Dievs pasargā mūs no ciešanām, bet kādreiz viņš tomēr pieļauj, un tas viss notiek.
In the U.S. we've had, in the last few years, a big problem with Catholic priests abusing children.
Beidzamo gadu laikā Amerikā ir bijušas lielas problēmas ar to, ka katoļu mācītāji ir aizskāruši bērnus.
Unfortunately, in just the past year or two, there's been more information about other denominations besides Catholics, Baptists, Methodists, and others.
Un, diemžēl, beidzamo gadu laikā ir informācija, ka arī citas konfesijas ir tikpat iesaistītas šajos noziegumos. Katoļi, baptisti, metodisti un...
Why?
Why? Kāpēc?
Why would God allow that to happen?
Jā, kādēļ Dievs kaut ko tādu pieļauj?
We just cannot understand that.
Mēs to nevaram saprast.
Is our God so cruel that he would allow this to happen?
Vai tiešām Dievs ir tik ļauns, ka viņš ļauj šīm lietām notikt?
Because we know that he died on a cross for our sins.
Mēs zinām, ka Dievs ļāva Jēzum nomirt pie krusta mūsu grēku dēļ.
And then would he be so cruel to turn around and just let this happen?
Un tāpat laikā viņš ļautu visām šīm ļaunajām lietām notikt pēc tam, ka viņš ļaus.
He's forgiven our sins.
Viņš mums ir piedevis grēkus.
We know he's preparing a place for us in heaven.
Mēs zinām, ka viņš ir sagatavojis mums debesīs mājvietu.
So why would he allow these children to be abused?
Un kādēļ viņš ļauj darīt pāri šiem bērniem?
Maybe God could explain all this to us, but he just decided he didn't want to explain it to us.
Iespējams, ka Dievs šo visu mums varētu paskaidrot, bet viņš izvēlās to nedarīt.
I don't think this is true.
Es domāju, tā nav taisnība.
Because this turns so many people away from God, these things that happen.
Jo visi šie notikumi ļoti daudz cilvēkiem liedz novērsties no kristīgās ticības, šo redzot.
I think God can't explain it to you and I.
Es domāju, ka Dievs tomēr nespēja to izskaidrot.
Not because God is weak.
Ne tādēļ, ka Dievs būtu vājš.
But because we are weak.
Bet mēs esam vāji.
Our minds are finite or limited.
Mūsu prāts ir ierobežots.
And our minds are fallen because we're products of the fall.
Jo mēs esam krituši grēkā un mūsu prāts līdz ar to.
I think that God cannot explain this to us because we can't understand it.
Dievs nevar mums to izskaidrot, jo mēs to nespējam saprast.
You could take a professor from a university.
Mēs varētu ņemt kaut kādu profesoru no universitātes.
He can't explain Einstein's theory of relativity to a first grader.
Un skaidrs, ka šis profesors nespētu izskaidrot Einsteina relativitātes teoriju pirmklasniekam.
The first grader can try.
Pirmklasnieks var censties.
He can be smart.
Viņš var būt gudrs.
It's just too much for him to understand.
Bet tas ir daudz pa daudz priekš viņa spējām.
So maybe God is the same way with us.
Iespējams, ka Dievs jūtās tāpat ar mums.
He could explain it to us, but we are not capable of understanding.
Dievs varētu mums to visu paskaidrot, bet mēs nespējam to visu uzņemt.
So much of this brings us to faith and believing in what God has said.
Un tas viss mūs novad pie ticības, pie tā, ko Dievs mums ir teicis.
There's a famous pastor in France
Ir kāds slavens mācītājs Francijā,
that asked his congregation this question.
Kurš vai draudzē jautā šo jautājumu.
If you could have God's power for 24 hours,
ja jums būtu Dieva spēks uz 24 stundām,
what would you change?
Ko jūs izmainītu pasaulē?
You have all of God's power for 24 hours, what would you change?
Jums ir viss šis spēks 24 stundas, ko jūs izvēlētos?
What would you change?
Ko tu var izvēlētos izmainīt?
Anyone?
Say yourself. Myself.
Okay. Yeah, you can make yourself into a better person, a better being. Absolutely.
Sevi izmainīt par labāku cilvēku.
You know, you could stop every car accident in the world. How many lives would that save? You could have every baby born completely perfect.
Tad izmainīt gan to, ka pasaulē vairs nav autokatastrofas, gan to, ka katrs bērns, kurš piedzimst, ir pilnīgi vesels.
You could have every person read the Bible and believe what's in the Bible.
Varētu darīt tā, ka katrs cilvēks lasa Bībeli un arī tic tam, kas tur rakstīts.
So what this pastor said was, if I could change all these things for 24 hours, there's just millions of things I would change.
Viņam būtu miljons lietas, ko viņš gribētu mainīt šajā 24 stundās.
But what if I didn't have God's power, but I had His wisdom? What if I could have God's wisdom for 24 hours?
Bet ja nu mums ir nevis Dieva spēks, bet Dieva gudrība uz šīm 24 stundām.
And he said, you know what I would change?
Un tad viņš saka, tad ziniet, ko es mainītu?
Nothing.
Neko.
Because God's wisdom is perfect. God knows exactly what's going to happen in the future.
Jūs zināt, ka Dieva gudrība ir nevainojama. Viņš zina visu, kas notiks nākotnē.
How could my plan be any better than God's plan, even for 24 hours?
Kā gan iespējams, ka mans plāns varētu būt kaut cik labāks par Dieva plānu, kaut vai 24 stundām?
That when I look at our world with my wisdom,
ja es skatos uz pasauli ar savu gudrību,
there's lots of things that I'm saying, God, I think you should change this or that.
Raugoties tā, mums šķiet, ka ir daudz lietas, ko mēs gribētu mainīt, ko Dievam būtu jāmaina.
But when I look at the world with God's wisdom,
bet ja es raudzītos uz pasauli ar Dieva acīm, ar Dieva gudrību,
He's a perfect being. He has all perfect power, and in the end, He will make everything perfect.
Ja Dievs ir perfekts, viņam ir pilnīgs spēks, un beigās viņš izdarīs tā, lai viss būtu ideāli.
Isaiah 55:9.
Iesajas 55. nodaļa, 9. pants.
As the heavens are higher than the earth. Yep.
Cik augstākas debesis ir pār zemi, tik augstāk ir mani ceļi pār jūsu ceļiem, un manas domas pār jūsu domām.
He's not like us. The heavens are higher than the earth, and His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. Your mind is finite or is limited, and it's fallen.
Mūsu prāts tomēr ir mazāks, viņš ir šaurāks, un mēs esam krituši grēkā.
So, most people, when they see this suffering,
pārsvarā cilvēki, kad viņi redz ciešanas,
or they are part of this suffering,
vai ja mēs esam daļa no šīm ciešanām,
they have two choices.
Ir divas iespējas.
You can either reject God's love.
Mēs varam atraidīt Dieva mīlestību.
You can reject God's grace. You can reject God's power.
Mēs varam noraidīt Dieva žēlastību un viņa spēku.
But we know that one of God's nicknames, or one of His names, is the great physician or the great doctor.
Bet mēs zinām, ka viens no Dieva vārdiem, no viņa iesaukām ir lieliskais ārsts.
And so you can turn your disbelief, you can turn your hurt inside, you can turn all those things over to Him, because He is the great doctor.
Mēs visas šīs savas šaubas, šīs savas domas un visas šās pārdomas varam nest Dievam, jo viņš ir lielais ārsts.
He knows exactly how you feel.
Viņš lieliski zina, kā mēs jūtamies.
That was one of the purposes of him coming to this earth as Jesus Christ.
Tas bija viens no iemesliem, kādēļ viņš izvēlējās nākt Jēzus
and when we are hurting, he's hurting along with us.
Kad mēs ciešam, viņš cieš līdz ar mums.
He's not sitting there saying, "Oh, don't worry about it because I've got this plan."
Viņš nesaka mums tā, neuztraucies, ir okay, man ir savs plāns.
He knows your heart is breaking.
Viņš zina, ka mūsu sirds ir salauzta.
He knows that you are grieving.
Viņš zina, ka jūs sērojat.
He has also been there and grieved and cried.
Viņš ir arī tur bijis, viņš ir sērojis un raudājis un cietis.
But in the background,
bet kaut kur aizmugurē,
very quietly,
klusiņām,
he is saying, "Just trust in me."
Bet viņš saka, tomēr paļaujies uz mani.
I will be there with you and we'll get through this together.
Es būšu ar tevi un mēs kopā tiksim galā.
If you look in Mark chapter 9.
Marka evaņģēlija 9. nodaļā.
So to set this up,
24. pants.
There was a man who had a son who had a demon inside of him.
Bija kāds vīrs, kuram bija dēls, kurā bija iemēsojis ļaunais gars.
And no one could cast this demon out.
Un neviens nevarēja izdzīt šo ļauno garu.
And this man was willing to try anything to help his son.
Un šis vīrs bija gatavs darīt jebko, lai palīdzētu savam dēlam.
And he had even come to some of the apostles before Jesus had gotten there, and they couldn't do anything.
Un viņš gāja pie apostoļiem un lūdza viņiem palīdzību, bet arī viņi nevarēja palīdzēt.
So the man comes up to Jesus and says, "Can you do something? Will you do something?"
Un viņš nāk pie Jēzus un saka, vai tu darīsi kaut ko, vai tu vari palīdzēt?
And it's kind of strange in what Jesus says.
Un tas, ko Jēzus teica, ir tā mazliet savādi.
It's kind of like, "Can I do something?"
Viņš tā kā jautā, vai es kaut ko varu darīt?
And he's basically saying, "Yes, I can do something."
Viņš atbild, ka jā, es varu.
Look on Mark 9:24.
Tad Markā evaņģēlija 9. nodaļa 24. pants.
In 23 he says this. Read 23 and 24.
23. Bet Jēzus uz to sacīja, tu saki, ja tu spēj, kaut tu varētu ticēt, tas visu spēj, kas tic.
So Jesus said to him,
24, no?
Yeah, 23 and 24.
Un to daļu tā bērna tēvs brēca un sacīja, es ticu, palīdzi manai neticībai.
If you can believe, all things are possible to him who believes.
Tad tiklīdz kā mēs ticam, tā viss ir iespējams, ja mēs ticam.
If you can believe.
Ja vien mēs varam ticēt.
Jesus knew it's not always easy to believe.
Jēzus labi zina, ka nevienmēr ir vienkārši ticēt.
Even some of the disciples who had been with him and had seen all these miracles, they had trouble believing.
Pat mācekļi, kas ir gājuši tik daudz kam cauri ar Jēzu un redzējuši daudz brīnumus, arī viņiem ir grūti bieži vien ticēt.
And the Father, he cries out, "Lord, I believe. Help me with my unbelief."
Un šis izmisušais tēvs saka, es ticu, lūdzu palīdzi manā neticībā.
He's saying, another way it might be, help me with my weakness of my faith.
Tad tas ir, tas, ka palīdzi ar to vājumu manā ticībā, ka es neesmu perfekts.
Another way might be, Lord, my faith is so little, but just help me make it stronger.
Viņš atzīst to, ka viņš tic, bet viņa ticība ir maza. Un viņš tic, ka Dievs šo ticību var darīt lielāku.
And that's the way we are. We think that you have to have faith like a big, strong rope.
Mums bieži vien šķiet, ka mums vajadzētu ticību, kas ir tāda liela, kā tāda resna virve.
Well, how does that big, strong rope, how is it made?
Kā tas ir, no kā tā vīra varētu būt taisīta?
And it's just one little strand at a time.
Tas ir diedziņa pa diedziņam mēs liekam kopā.
And this father of this boy who had a demon inside of him, he had no faith up till the point he got to Jesus.
Un šim izmisušajam tēvam nebija ticības, līdz kamēr viņš vērsās pie Jēzus.
Now the next day, how big do you think his faith was?
Kā es domāju, cik liela bija viņa ticība nākamajā dienā?
And then he puts a little bit more faith into Jesus, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger until his faith is so strong it can't be shaken.
Katru dienu viņa ticība auga lielāka un lielāka, līdz kamēr viņa izaug liela un nesatricināma.
Most of us don't think we can pray for faith. We think that if I don't have faith, I can't do anything, so why can I even pray?
Mums bieži šķiet, ka mēs nevaram lūkšanā lūgt pēc ticības, jo mums šķiet, ja mums ticības nav, tad jau mēs neko nevaram darīt.
And that's not what he's trying to show us here, that that's not true. You can pray to have stronger faith.
Un šeit mums tiek teikts, ka tā nav taisnība, ka mēs varam lūgt, lai mums būtu stiprāka ticība.
And that's what he's asking us to do.
Un tas ir tas, ko mums patiesībā Dievs arī liek darīt.
And some of these things that we see are happening around us.
Un visas šīs lietas un sāpes, ko mēs redzam, kas notiek ap mums.
And it shakes our faith.
Un satricina mūsu ticību.
When I read in a Texas newspaper that there were over 100 Texas pastors involved in child molestation, that shakes my faith.
Un, kad es lasu Teksas avīzi, kur rakstīts, ka vairāk kā 100 mācītāji Teksasā izmanto ļaunprātīgi mazus bērnus, tas satricina mani.
When I see children dying because they don't have clean water or they don't have enough food, that shakes my faith.
Un arī, kad es redzu un dzirdu, ka bērni mirst no bada un no tīra ūdens trūkuma, arī tas.
That's the point where I pray for more faith.
Tie brīži, kad es lūdzu pēc vairāk ticības, jo šī ticība tiek pārbaudīta.
And that's the point where I go back and I remember that God is holy.
Un es cenšos piespiest sevi atcerēties to, ka Dievs ir svēts.
And God is perfect.
Un Dievs ir ideāls un perfekts.
And God has a plan.
Un Dievam ir plāns.
And God's ways are not my ways.
Un Dieva ceļi nav mani ceļi.
And God invented the theory of relativity.
Un Dievs bija tas, kurš patiesībā izveido relativitātes teoriju.
And I'm way down here below a first grader.
Un es esmu daudz zemāk par pirmklasnieku.
And why should he explain it to me?
Kādēļ, lai viņš censtos man to izskaidrot?
We're going to face some things that we don't understand in this world.
Mums būs daudz lietas, kuras mēs saskarsimies, kuras mēs nesaprotam šajā pasaulē.
And so many people turn away from God because they want to know the exact meaning of everything.
Un ļoti daudz cilvēku, kuri novērsās no Dieva, tādēļ vien, ka viņi grib perfekti saprast, kas ir šī nozīme šīm lietām.
And God says you got to have faith in me.
Un Dievs atkārto, ka jums ir jātic man.
And I've got a plan.
Un man ir plāns.
Now, when I was looking up some of this, some of the things we've talked about today,
un kad es domāju par šīm rakstvietām,
I came across a guy that was kind of speaking on the same thing.
Es saskāros ar kādu cilvēku, kur bija runājis tieši par šo pašu tematu.
So he asked his congregation is, why doesn't God stop and get rid of all evil?
Viņš bija jautājis savai draudzē, kā jums šķiet, kādēļ Dievs neaptur visu ļauno?
And he said if he did that,
un viņš teica, ja Dievs to darītu,
who would he start with?
Ar ko viņš sāktu?
Me and you.
Viņš sāktu ar mums.
You know, are we so good that we could say we're not evil?
Vai mēs tiešām esam tik labi, ka varam teikt, ka mēs neesam ļauni?
I walked through Riga train station on Wednesday.
Kad es gāju cauri Rīgas stacijai trešdienā.
Hadn't been there 2 minutes.
Es tur biju tikai 2 minūtes.
Guy comes up to me and says,
Kāds pienāk pie manis un saka?
Something.
Kaut ko saka man?
And I knew he was asking for money.
Es zināju, ka tiek jautāts pēc naudas.
And I just said, I don't understand angliski.
Es atbildēju, ka es nesaprotu angliski.
He just immediately switched over to angliski.
Un tad viņš pārslēdzās momentā uz angļu valodu.
And says, I need some money.
Un teica to pašu angliski.
He's speaking better English than I am.
Ir tāds, ka šis cilvēks zina divas valodas vismaz.
And I just said, I'm just trying to get to Cēsu. I don't have any money.
Un es atbildēju, ka es gribu nokļūt Cēsīs un man nav naudas.
Which was a lie.
Ka es biju mēlī.
I could have reached in my pocket and given him some money.
Patiesībā man bija naudas, arī iebāzt roku kabatā un iedot naudu.
But I judged him and said, no, he doesn't need this money.
Bet es viņu tā kā tiesāju un uzskatīju, ka viņam nav vajadzīga nauda.
And I went on my way.
Un es devos savā ceļā.
I don't know if that guy really needed the money or not.
Tā arī es nezinu, vai šim cilvēkam tiešām vajadzēja naudu vai ne.
But actually it was evil of me, it was bad of me to not help him out.
Bet patiesībā tas bija kaut kas ļauns manī, kad es nevēlējos viņam palīdzēt.
Now maybe I talked to him a while and I figure out whether he really needs it or not.
Man bija iespēja viņu parunāt un uzzināt, vai viņam tik tiešām ir vajadzīga šī nauda vai ne.
But whenever we cry out to God and say, God, get rid of this evil in this world.
Bet bieži vien mēs saucam uz Dievu un sakam, lūdzu, atpestī mūs no šī ļaunā šī pasaulē.
We might want to look at ourselves first.
Mums tomēr būtu jāskatās mazliet arī pašiem uz sevi.
If he got rid of all the evil, there wouldn't be very many people left.
Ja viņš tiešām visu ļauno iznīcinātu, tad nepaliktu pāri daudz cilvēku.
So what I hope you got out of today's talk, I hope what you got out of today's talk, this is what I hope that you got out of today's talk.
Tad tas ir, ko es ceru, ka jūs no šīs dienas runas sapratāt.
That there is a method to all of this madness.
Ka visam šiem trakajām lietām ir kaut kāda kopīga ideja.
There's a reason why everything happens.
Ir labs iemesls, kādēļ tas viss notiek.
God is in control.
Dievs vienmēr visu kontrolē.
He understands exactly what's going on.
Viņš vienmēr saprot, kas notiek.
He hasn't forgotten any of us.
Viņš nevienu no mums nekad nav aizmirsis.
And he's wanting us to use that faith that is so important.
Un vienīgais, ko viņš grib, lai mēs izmantotu šo ticību, kas ir vissvarīgākais.
Now, what do we call it when God steps in and decides to stop some of these things that are happening? What's that called?
Kā mēs to saucam, kad Dievs iejaucās un aptur kādas no šīm ciešanām?
A miracle.
Tas ir brīnums.
So next week we're going to try to talk a little bit on miracles. Miracles still happen?
Nākamā tēma, kur runāsim sēdē, nākamā būs brīnumi.
Yeah.
Piekrītat?
Maybe they've happened to you.
Varbūt ir notikuši arī jums.
Maybe they haven't.
Varbūt vēl nē.
And we'll talk just a little bit about some history of miracles and then, maybe why God doesn't do this all the time.
Mēs runāsim arī par vēsturi, par brīnumu vēsturi un par to, kādēļ Dievs to nedara visu laiku.
The more I learn of God, the more I sometimes get confused.
Jo vairāk par Dievu es uzzinu, jo vairāk es samulstu par šo visu.
Because he is so powerful.
Jo Dievs ir visspēcīgs.
Because he is so holy.
Viņš ir svēts.
Because he works outside of time and space.